Hello guys, Sudwood here with my first episode of Advanced Minecraft Modding, and today we're going to be working on my tutorial mod, which I've named Advanced Utilities because it's just going to be a bunch of utility blocks, I hope. Things that do special things that aren't too special. Anyway, right now this is Minecraft 1.7.2 and I just have a basic mod set up with a creative tab and one block, the chunk loader block, which is what we're going to be working on today. Yes, we're going to be working on a chunk loader, and as you can see there is a recipe, and if we go into the game, come on game, load up please. There we go. There we go. Make that full screen for you guys. And there we go. Now, just take some coal, some redstone, and some diamonds. There you go, we got a chunk loader. But as of right now, it does nothing. It just sits there. Acts like a block. That's all. So, let's fix that. First thing, there we go. First thing we're going to do is go into our block and change it from saying a regular block. Now it's going to extend block container. This means it's going to have a tile entity. Here we go. Unimplemented methods. There we go. It's going to hold a tile entity, which is going to do all the calculations and everything for our block. Now this is going to return a new tile entity chunk loader. There we go. Import that. Save. There we go. So this thing has a tile entity. Great. Now, to make it a chunk loader, we're going to do a couple things first. First, we're going to add in we're going to add an on-off switch for the chunk loader because, I don't know, maybe you want to control it with redstone or something. So we're going to control it with redstone. So we're going to have a public boolean variable in the tile entity called is getting redstone. And that's going to be false by default. Now we're going to read from the MPT is getting redstone equals tag dot get boolean is getting redstone. Now we're going to set it in the right function, tag dot set boolean is getting redstone is getting redstone. There we go. So that is all set up, and now we want to public boolean set is getting redstone boolean bool. There we go. And no, we want void. There we go. Not gonna have it return anything. And is getting redstone equals bool. There we go. And that's this is what our block is going to call to set the variable. Now we need to go into our block and add a method. There we go. We need to add this method on neighbor block change. That means anytime a block around it updates, it is going to call this function. And the parameters are x, y, z, and I just copy and pasted from the 1.6. So in 1.6 it had the block ID, in 1.7 it just has the block, and if we add the override, you'll see this is the correct function. Now we need to check if world.if, there we go, world.isRemote not if it's remote. So therefore, if it's on the server, we're going to say 2 parentheses tile entity chunk loader world dot get tile entity xyz dot set is getting redstone. Then we're going to say world dot is block indirectly getting powered x y z. There we go. What's wrong? Extra there. There we go. So now we should be able to check that, and if we load up the world, it should work. And that is how you, at least with the tile entity, that's how you deal with redstone powering the blocks. If you don't have a tile entity and you're just doing simple stuff, you usually use metadata. This and this, there we go. So there we go. And it is popping up as true, which is good. If we update this, there we go. Yep, every time it's getting a block update, it is saying true if it is getting powered, which is a good thing. I don't have the console showing for some reason. Yeah, I don't have the console showing, so you guys can't see that, but trust me, it is happening. Ooh, that is weird. What did I just do? There we go. As you can see in the console down there, we're spitting out false, 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 true, 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 all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so next is to add the chunk loading stuff. So we need to do a couple things. We need to new class advanced utilities chunk load callback. When chunks are loaded, when the world loads up, the Forge chunk manager calls any registered chunk load callback classes, and these guys determine whether or not they want to reload the chunks that the old chunk loading had from when the world saved. So basically this allows you to load chunks when after you like save and reload a world. So we are going to go to Minecraft Forge world. Where did I find this? Never mind that. Okay, so we're going to go to our post init function, which happens after the init function. You want to register it here, and then you go Forge chunk loader. Now what is it called? Sorry about this, guys. We want Forge chunk manager. There we go. Let's just call this new advanced utilities chunk load callback. There you go. And we pass it this. Import Forge chunk manager. And we need to open one more thing. Sorry about this, guys. I should have had this open beforehand. I don't know why I didn't. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Now we need to implement this in our chunk load callback class. We need to implement the Forge Chunk Manager or ordered loading callback. And we need to import this stuff. There we go. You can't just mouse over this because it's part of the Forge Chunk Manager class and not its own class, the interface. You have to import it yourself. Add unimplemented methods. There we go. Now we are going to say in here, this will make sense later, for this is just a for loop. They'll loop through all the tickets. Just says for every ticket in tickets, have this object ticket, and then you can check things from that specific one. It'll just loop through the list, and at each loop it'll give you a object, which we named ticket right here, of that part of the list. So now we need int block x equals ticket dot get mod data. There we go. Dot get integer. And we need block x, and we're just going to copy this for the y and z. This is not set up. You can't just have this happen. You set this later on in the tile entity. And then we need tile entity chunk loader. Sorry for the loud keyboard. Tile chunk loader equals tile entity chunk loader in parentheses, because we're casting world dot get tile entity x block x block y block z. There we go. Now we just need to import the tile entity chunk loaders, which I did with Control Shift O, and there we go. And then we're going to call tile entity chunk loader dot load ticket and ticket. We will make this function later, don't worry. Now to finish up this bottom part. This determines if it wants to add this basically creates the list that we used in the first part. We need to make a list ticket valid tickets equals lists dot new array list. There we go. And like the entirety of this code I figured out by looking at the Buildcraft source code, which I will link in the description of the video. It is so helpful if you ever want to do anything like to do with like machines or anything. Buildcraft is definitely a really nice mod to look at because they're completely open source. There we go. Return valid tickets. Now, we need to do the exact same thing as up here, except we need to say block equals world dot get block x block y block z import block Minecraft block. There we go. And then if block equals advanced utilities blocks dot chunk loader, then valid tickets add ticket. There we go. Basically, this function is checking through all the tickets, and it's asking the mods to say, yes, this block is valid as a chunk loader. And this mod right here only knows about our chunk loader block. So we're only checking if this block is the chunk loader block, then that's a valid ticket. These ticket objects basically are like, they're tickets. They tell the world what to keep loaded, basically. There we go. Now we need to go into this and make a couple of things. Private boolean chunk. No, we don't need a boolean. What are we talking about? Private ticket chunk ticket. There we go. Import ticket forge manager. There we go. And just looking at my code to make sure I'm doing this right. Yes. Now we need to get to the chunk loading things. There we go. Copy and paste that, and we will return. We'll do something with that later. And Shift O. Oop, that's not good. Forge chunk manager, import chunk cord in pair, import. There we go. Type, import type. Oh my God, there's a lot of types. Forge. Forge chunk manager. There we go. That type. Now we need an instance of our mod. So we need utilities dot instance. Import this. Can I just say this? No, I cannot. Okay, so we need to go into here and say public advanced utilities instance equals this. And then can I pass an instance? What is wrong with this? Static. There we go. Equals. I think we can just go like that. There you go. There's an instance of it. Cool. Get mod data. Block X. That's not capital Y. And that needs to be capital C. So here are our functions. Basically, load chunks will say, which we call when we place down the block, which we'll add to the block function in a minute. It'll say if the chunk ticket is null, which means is this thing currently loading a chunk, and it'll say, hey, Forge chunk manager, give me a ticket please, and it'll tell it, I'm from this mod, this is the world I'm in, and I want a normal ticket because I'm a block. There's also a player ticket, I think, and an entity ticket, maybe. Let's see. Type dot entity and normal. Normal is for blocks, entities for entities. Because yes, you can have chunk loading entities, which is pretty cool. And then it says, okay, so ticket, save in your mod data the integers block X, block Y, block Z for my coordinates. Then it tells the Forge chunk manager, hey, load this chunk. The chunk, and it gives it the ticket, and it gives it the current chunk coordinates. Do not ask me how they calculate this. I really don't know. But this gets the chunk coordinates. in the world. Unload chunks right here is going to unload the chunks, and we'll place that in the block when the block is broken. And lastly, we have load ticket, which says if the chunk ticket's null, the chunk ticket equals this ticket you're giving me. And it says here the int pair to be loaded is here. And then it says for chunk manager, load this ticket. And our load callback calls the chunk loader, tile entity chunk loader, load ticket, and then passes in a ticket. And that's how that works. Now we need to go to the block chunk loader and add a couple methods. We want to add the block. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay. Block container opens block. And we want to find block break. No, break block. There we go. Break block function. So this is the function that is called when things break. When a block is broken. And world, and then it calls, I think this is X, and this is Y, this is Z, and this is the block. This block, this old block, and old metadata. This function is called whenever the blocks where the block's ID is changed, basically when it's set to something else or when its metadata changes. We want to, since we're never going to change its metadata and we're never going to change what it is, we're basically going to tell it to unload the chunks whenever this function's called, because we're never going to mess with any of that. So if it's being messed with, we don't want it to, we want, basically, we're going to count it as it being broken. So tile entity chunk loader tile equals this. I need to copy and paste this. Copy, paste. World dot get tile entity x y z. There we go. Now we're going to say tile dot unload chunks, and we are going to super dot break block x y z old block old metadata, miss the block. And that's just going to make sure it like drops itself when it gets broken. There we go. So now the block is broken. It'll unload the chunks. Now we need unblock placed or unblock added. I like to go with added because that's when it's added to the world, instead of placed, which is when it's right clicked on the ground. Because added means it's actually in the world, and placed means it's being in the middle of adding it to the world. So unblock added, called whenever the block is added into the world. There we go. That's what we want. And this is going to go above break block, and we are going to move this down and this down, and we're going to rename our parameters. World, this guy is X, this guy is Y, this guy is Z. Okay, on block added, we are going to say, do I want this super? First, I can't remember. Yes, we want a super on block added first. Why? Because when it adds the block, when this super function, which is the block containers on block added function is called, that connects the tile entity to the block. So before this is called, the block doesn't have a tile entity. Therefore, we want to do stuff with the tile entity after it has a tile entity, but while it's still being added to the world. Now we need to say if not world that is remote. We'll just copy this here. Tile dot load chunks. Cool. And we want this, if world is not remote, to be down here as well, because we only want to be loading chunks on the server. Doing so on the client would be bad. Alright, so now it loads chunks when it is added. It unloads them when it is broken. Now we need to do one more thing. Update entity, yay. So this guy is going to okay, by default it says can't update. It can update. So there we go. So now we're gonna say if not is getting redstone, unload chunks. Else load chunks. So basically, if it's not getting powered by redstone, no. So should redstone turn on or turn off? Turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off. We'll have redstone turn it on. So basically, if it's not getting redstone power, it'll unload chunks. Else, it'll load them. Sounds good. Now let's see if this crashes the game when I load it. It should not. This should work. I'm hoping. I'm praying it works. Hoping and praying. Hoping and praying. Okay. It crashed the game. What error do you have for me? Ooh, magnificent thing. Quest ticket. Failed to locate the container. Lock container. How do I get an instance? This is weird. Minecraft forge dot I need to check this, so I shall be back in one moment, you guys. Hey guys, I'm back, and I figured out what the problem was. In our class here, in our main class, when we declared our instance, I forgot to add the @instance tag, and then you put in parentheses your mod ID. Actually, I could probably just go mod ID like that. There we go. Yeah, so just do that instead. That gives you the right instance and it works. If we run the game, come on, let's make a new flat world real quick. There we go. Nice and full screen. Let's grab our block. Let's grab a hopper, a chest, and something to put in bedrock. Why not? Now let's teleport to 100,000, 100,000. There we go. And fall down to the ground. Oh, there's a village here. Cool. We'll place the chunk loader. We need a piece of redstone to turn it on. Remember that. And I currently don't know where this chunk is, so I am building right on top of it. There we go. Now we can go like this, and 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 like this. Just make a bunch of bedrock. So we can easily tell that it's been working, even though we're well outside of the range of it. Okay, there we go. There we go. Let's just kill ourselves. There we go. We're dead. And we are a long ways away, as you can see. And let's just wait a bit. Have to wait a bit. And we need a saddle. Let's go try to tame a horse or something. Where's a horse? This guy looks cool. Screw you, guy. Can I give them sugar? I have no idea how horses work because I've never played 1.7 before. It's kind of funny. Can I give you sugar? Okay, I'm giving you sugar. Are you happy? Are you my friend now? Give me heart. No? No? Sugar? Oh, now you're happy. There you go. Oh, you're pretty. You're a fast horse. You don't jump well. You move okay, though. Whee! Let's just ride our horse around. Our horse is better than yours, villagers. Ow, no. My horse is better than yours. There we go. And we got 5 diamonds and gold. How lucky. Wow, this horse jumps not at all. Alright, it's been long enough. Let's go back. Whee! And as you can see, a bunch of bedrock has been transferred, even though we haven't been here. Cool. So that's how it works. We got a chunk loader that works that you can control with redstone. Cool, cool. Hope you guys have liked this episode, and please leave any suggestions for future advanced tutorials in the description. Please know, like, just how to make a block, how you make an item. I really want to stick with the harder things, I guess. The harder tutorials. Anyway, I'll put the source in the description along with a link to Buildcraft, and I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. See ya.